Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on Toned In Entertainment, where we love pop culture. Today, it's time for another comic book review as we take a look at a new series by Marvel Comics that, after much delay, has finally hit the store shelves this week, and that's Children of the Atom, issue number 1. Now, before we go any further, I think it's only appropriate to meet the new characters. There's the big and bulky Marvel guy, Cherub, who has a lot of resemblance to X-Men Angel. There's Daycrawler, who, as you guessed it, has similarities to X-Men Nightcrawler with his teleportation abilities. Gimmick, who can dish out some kinetic energy of her own, a la Gambit. And from reading this issue, I'm presuming that Beatrice Bartholomew, also known as Buddy to her friends, but is most notably known as Cyclops-Lass, is the leader of this group. Now, when starting up a new comic book series, I feel that there are a few key ingredients that the creators of any comic book series need to have in order to hook the readers to have us come back for issue number 2. Number 1, you have to have characters that you can not only identify with, but you care about what they're going through. Number 2, give us some action. This is a superhero comic after all. We want to see these mutants' abilities in action. And number 3, hook us with an ending that will make us say, I need to see what happens next. And writer Vita Ayala achieves all of those things. Our 5 new mutants are high school students, so whether it's wanting an education, dealing with dating issues where we find out that Buddy has a crush on her classmate Gabe, but it's pretty tough for her to make her feelings known when Gabe is dating her best friend. Plus, they have to deal with that feeling like they don't belong, which is emphasized here when Buddy and Carmen talk about going to a concert where Dazzler's performing. But when one of their classmates overhears their conversation, he has no problem throwing his 2 cents into their conversation on what he thinks about mutants. The art here in issue number 1 is done by Bernard Chang and colors by Marcelo Mayalo. And not only is it well done throughout, but even if you're slightly familiar with the X-Men, you'll know right away who these 5 mutants got their inspirations for their attire from. And while yes, their outfits do resemble some of our favorite X-Men, these youngsters do more than just cosplay in them, as we get to see them not only show off their powers, but thwart the Hell's Bells who are out stirring up some trouble. Now, while yes, it's great to have some new characters, I also love nostalgia, and we do get to catch up with the X-Men here, who are on the Summers base on the moon, and from reading the conversations that the X-Men are having, I came away with quite a few interesting tidbits. Number 1, the X-Men are concerned for these youngsters' safety, but other than Wolverine, who thinks they should just go out and get these youngsters, the other X-Men, they want to take a little bit more of a diplomatic approach to talk to them about coming to a safe place for mutants. And number 2, there's definitely something strange going on, as Jean Grey has asked Professor X to track them down, but has been unsuccessful. Now, Storm's hypothesis is that one of them is believed to be a telepath, and he must be using his powers to block out the professor. Now, as we close out issue number 1, it looks like these 5 youngsters have all decided that maybe it's best to go to a place that has their safety and their best interest. As we see Buddy making the difficult decision to sneak out of her house in the middle of the night to meet up with the rest of her friends, but she believes they all have to do this. Now, while Storm was under the impression that one of these mutants might be using their telepathic abilities, as we see here, that might not be the case. And I say that as we see this group trying to take a step towards safety, but then their plans get flipped upside down when they try to make their way through the portal and are denied, leaving them with only one option, and that's to get out of sight before someone catches them. Now, my guess is, while they are mutants, could this be the next step up the evolutionary ladder? Or maybe that their DNA is slightly different, and that's why Professor X couldn't track them down. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give Children of the Atom issue number 1 an 8 out of 10. Now, overall, writer Vita Ayala hit on all the key points in a story that kept me entertained, invested in these characters, and got me intrigued to see what's going to happen next. Now, if you've been holding back on picking up Children of the Atom to see what it's all about, in my opinion, if you're an X-Men fan, you're gonna enjoy this, as it does have new characters as well as some of our old favorites. And I definitely see a clash between these two sides somewhere down the road. Alright guys, well, that's going to wrap up this comic book review for Children of the Atom issue number 1. Now, what I really liked about this particular issue was we got to meet some new characters, but we also got to see some of our old favorites. So this book felt very much like something new and something very familiar all at the same time. Now, did you read Children of the Atom issue number 1? And if you did, what are your thoughts? Comment down below. And guys, if you like comic book reviews like this, make sure you stay tuned here to Toned In Entertainment for future videos.
Subscribe to the channel. Do it. Go now. Do it now.